what would you do? Something happened to them.
We're the good guys, okay? I promise you.
Got one.
Start and
Okay.
okay. So I guess
Okay.
to everyone, it's Ada from Poison Rock, and for the first time, I have the pleasure to have with me a director and an actor itself, Morley Nelson. First of all, how are you? And thank you for being here. It's a really an honor.
Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor being here.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
people might don't know it, but I saw your movie because you directed your first movie, Uncontained, and
yeah.
it was released. I don't know exactly when because I watched it 1 year ago, I guess, or 8 months ago, and it was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was released in last March,
Yeah,
so
so I
coming up
was,
on a year.
yeah, almost a
Yeah.
year ago, and I mean, you reached Sicily somehow. Someone me lost,
Okay.
and I
Oh,
would
excellent.
like for the Italian audience and the European
Yeah.
audience, because maybe sometimes we have different. They can find it on Apple TV because there is the Italian Netflix.
Yeah.
You find net to move, and also because maybe it needs to be dubbed because in Italy we have a
Yes.
big dubbed
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
Oh, please. So,
il mio italiano non granché.
yeah, but so there will be Italian,
Yeah.
whatever the job is to do the dub, the subtitle, or whatever. So it will be
Yeah.
acquired from at least Italian Netflix, or I don't know if it is already. I have to check, but
No,
either is not.
we're coming. We'll be coming.
Oh,
Hopefully, we'll be in theaters in Italy because
what
I know
the fuck?
you're.
Sorry, I don't want to say
Yeah.
that
So
word. Really?
yeah. Yeah, so hopefully we're working on that right now. So we're doing foreign sales. So for us,
Okay.
we sold domestic rights, so just the United
Yeah,
States and Canada,
yeah.
and then we're selling the rest of the world right now. So we'll be coming to Europe,
Theater.
Scandinavia, Australia, Africa, but
And
sometime this year. So hopefully by summertime it'll be in theaters in Italy and we'll
I mean,
or right to streaming. I don't know.
that's amazing. There could be also like a kind of anticipating commercial interview about it to. So okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about the end of the movie. Okay, let's keep
Okay,
the end of the movie outside
yeah.
because I loved it really. And
Oh, thank you.
just to give it a little bit of context, because
Oh,
before start to talk about the movie and contain and all the amazing atmosphere and really the incredible job you made, all of you made,
thank you.
and
Thank you.
because I know there is always a teamwork. I want to ask about
Yeah.
you, Morley. Like, who is Morley, and how you ended up to be on also one of all 11/22/63, which is
Oh,
one
sure.
of other. I saw you from there, so I'm following.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I was originally I was a police officer
Yeah.
for many years, and then I got brought on to advise on a movie, and that was M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Okay.
And then from there, I was fortunate enough, while filming that, another movie needed a kind of a technical director.
Yeah.
And even though I wasn't a technical director, they hired me anyhow because they were in a bind. And that was a movie with Bruce Willis and Morgan Freeman
Okay.
called Red. And
Ah,
then yeah, and then that led to a series called Strain, and that led to
okay.
working on Walking Dead, and then I was able to write the Walking Dead video game. I had a mentor teach me how to write, and then
That's
I got in the film world and read and watched as much as possible. I was a theater major in college,
okay.
but
So it
then
comes from
yeah,
when you were a
yeah,
teenager.
yes. So I had studied it,
Yeah.
and then one project led to another, and I mostly advised, and then I started writing. And once I started writing, I got hired as jobs, and then finally I decided I should direct my own movie. And so I
That's
raised
amazing.
just a little bit of money. We raised 55,000 US dollars, and then we shot at our house with my family, all
Yeah.
first time actors. In fact, everyone is a first time actor except for all the bad guys. So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
all the bad guys were from
And also,
LA.
Also the puppy, the dog as well. My
Yeah, the
favorite
dog.
actor.
Yeah, that's our dog. If you follow me on Instagram, you see I post her all the time.
Yeah,
So she's
yeah, she's.
yeah.
I know. I mean, yeah, when I saw her on the movie and I saw her on Instagram, I said, "The same dog." She's
Yeah.
so
Yep.
cute. She was so cute. But also,
Yeah.
of course, but of course, I mean, growing up also, could you even imagine that, a young Morley, maybe studying major like in art, growing up, you had to
Mhm.
have your own movie because it's not something that is, came front of nowhere. Of course, there's a lot of effort behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then as you said, you had a career as a police officer. What was also like, like the thing that said, you know what, maybe I should pursue another career.
Well, so when I was in college, the my uh, college advisor,
Mhm.
the head of the department, told me that when I graduated, that no one wanted to see someone that looked like me. They wouldn't pay money to go see someone like me in the theater, hundreds of dollars to watch somebody like me perform Shakespeare. And so I was at 20 some years old, I was kind of,
Yeah, of
shocked and worried. And
course.
I wasn't, so I thought, oh, I better go get a different job because I'm not going to ever, no one will ever hire me. And so I did that job. And then it just so happened that it came back and I was, able to get into this and make that
Yeah,
transition. So, and the experiences in one allowed me to be a better writer and director
of
in
course.
this world. But yeah, I I'm also very fortunate that I don't see, I grew up not seeing a lot of people that look like me
Yeah,
in
that's
film and television. And
yeah,
so,
yeah. Also,
I
this
want to take the opportunity to that.
yeah, I know this look like me is something that
Yeah.
in theater, so in cinema, in music, in everything is something that in the world, let's say, especially
Yeah.
right now, the one I got too much, let's forget. It's something that it does shouldn't exist because
Yeah.
I mean Shakespeare should be performed. I don't know, even by Eskimo, by anyone that want to
Yeah.
perform it. It's because
Yep.
it's they wrote it down 5 centuries ago, and it's not something
Yep.
that is like it should be like it's art. It should be
Yep.
performed by anyone. It's subjective.
Yes.
And here, of course, as you were mentioning, we were talking a little bit out screen before.
Oh,
Being myself a big sustainer of the indigenous community all over the world, as
yep.
a it was. I don't want to say it was difficult, but of course, in the movie, I'm seeing in the movie TV series right now, there is a coming out of indigenous community, like North of the North, for example. TV show amazing.
Yeah.
She's such a amazing actress. They did it with Alapo, I guess. In was I don't know, I don't remember what it was, but they did it sometimes with Yellowstone, but with especially with indigenous production like Dark Queens.
Yep. Yeah.
And America Prime Veil, there's
Yes.
an amazing, and also you with Uncontained and with Uncontainment, something important that there's more. So how do you feel like from your own perspective now that you can play any role you want? I mean, there's not going to be someone say, I can't play that. Or still
No.
sometimes you have this voice in your mind.
No, I feel like I can do anything. I feel like you were saying, it's art,
Yeah.
and art brings people together. And I think anyone should be able to do any kind of art, no
Yeah.
matter who you are, and interpret, whether it's music or, on the canvas or writing or film and television. I think we understand each other more when we see each other's perspectives. But I think the disappointing and simple answer is that we're all so similar
Yeah.
that when you do see art, you realize, well, that perspective is just a little different from mine, but it's not that much different. We're more similar
It's
than we
not,
are different, right? So,
you're all the same. I mean,
yeah,
you are
right.
usually all the same. Yeah.
Yes. So it's, I've been reconnecting with my indigenous roots in the United
Yeah.
States recently. There's the tribe, the Karankawa tribe in Texas,
Yeah.
and I've been reconnecting with them. And that's been an interesting journey, but I have a lot of influence from my grandfather's side, which is from New Zealand. And
Okay.
so we're the Maori people, and then the Ngatiapa tribe of New Zealand. But yeah, but then I'm also white. So I
Yeah.
get to see, growing up, I saw, the
Different.
beauty of all cultures, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah. And
yeah. These are these things that are always sometimes said. Oh, but you're like I think the ancestor and the roots that we came in, it's what make us beautiful. And also you have the chance, like
Yeah.
I said, to explore different like cultures, and they can give you also, I think, influences in the way maybe you
Yeah.
how you want to proceed in your career.
Yes,
It could be something.
absolutely.
It could be
I
fun.
rather see I rather see more of something of a different culture than
Yeah,
less,
exactly.
and then
Yeah,
decide whether I
exactly.
like it or not like it, or just like music. I love we with our children, we introduce them to all different genres of music so that we want to expose them to everything because it's not just
So,
if they just listen to what I want to listen to, then there's not going to be much for them. They're going to discover a whole lot more
yeah, of
music.
course, you're
You
giving
know,
them like a wide perspective, like choose
yeah,
what you want, be who you want to be.
right. Yeah, no more White Snake, Dad. I don't want to listen to White Snake anymore. But
I
it's just
know
like,
they can't. They're gone. Please, every morning since he announced that it's not gonna playing anymore. I'm
yeah,
retired from the scene and also retired from the social media. So bye bye interview with Coverdale.
yeah. David Coverdale. Yeah.
I got all the other member of the band except him.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
Well,
also like as many people may say, how why are you interviewing a director, an actor? I said music is a movie, of course.
yes,
So I'm going to introduce you
yeah.
asking of as well, like how much music matter to the production of the movie. Like, of
Huge.
course, there is a score anyway, and I will
Yes,
take care of the score as well.
yes. Huge. Music was highly. When I write, I listen to music and to help me put me in the mood for because I think it's easy to tap into your emotions through music,
Yeah,
and it immediately puts you. Music is, I don't want to say it's cheating, but it is a way to like instantly introduce you into the mood of the character or the scene or whatever, right? It connects us all emotionally. When we hear like Beethoven's Ode to Joy,
yeah,
we all know, oh, that feels wonderful and fantastic. But then when we hear something foreboding, like I don't know, Hans Zimmer soundtrack or something, when it's serious, it's serious. But
exactly.
and we tried to incorporate as many new artists as possible. So we do have a bunch of covers, but we use. I love so M83 or M83,
Yeah.
the band or the group was a huge influence
Okay.
for our song. So our temporary score was a lot of M83. It was a lot of taking from other movies, and then we went to our composers' chromosomes, and they put together, wrote all the original score, so all the original songs for the movie, and then we did three songs. Where Did You Sleep Last Night?
Yeah.
Star Spangled Banner, and then there's I don't know if she's an influencer or a singer, but her name is Coco Quinn, and
Yeah.
she did the song at the very end.
I saw that
And
also
so
you kind of maybe directed their videos because
I,
it's that,
yep, I
yeah.
directed a video for her. Yeah, that was my first video. So we
Yeah,
did a video, and my daughter played the young version of her in
she's
the
a now
video.
good
And
actress. Not,
yeah, there you go. Well, she works for free. I don't have to pay her. So that's why I
she's
use my son and my daughter and my dog and my wife as much as possible because I don't pay them any money. So
yeah.
but
But
yeah.
they're good doing the work they're
Yeah.
doing. I mean, the job they're doing, they're
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. It's so music is I think the one of the watching as many films. I
Yeah.
love watching movies. I love watching television series. And I think one of the biggest films to influence me as far as music goes
Yeah.
is it's an Italian film called Suburra, which
Okay.
stars Giancarlo Giannini, and it's M83 does the soundtrack for the whole movie. It's a
Hmm.
fantastic film. And then the series as well. I was amazed that the series takes place before the movie
Yeah.
and the actors all look younger.
Yeah.
Somehow they made the actors, the original actors from the movie look younger. So, that was a huge influence. But it's interesting. I'm glad you reached out because
Yeah.
the biggest influence on my movie is Italian director named Sergio Carbucci.
Okay. The worst
And
is
so,
spaghetti.
yeah, spaghetti westerns, exactly. So our film is actually I structured it as a western, as a
Really?
Carbucci western. Yeah. So even
Okay.
though it's
So
horror,
a
so
horror movie
yeah,
structured as a Western.
yes,
Bring me this journey. How it work?
yeah, yeah. So I love Carbucci because I know he's extremely anti-fascist, right? And he used scenery as another character. So right, he is all his movies are just beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Italian landscape, epics in scope. And so I wanted to do the same thing. So you introduce the scenery as a character, you isolate these people so that they can't just run away from the danger. You start there, and like a lot of his movies, like Django, right, with Guy Nero, the hero is a damaged person. When you meet him, he's already flawed, and he doesn't want anything to do with society, and he wants to leave people alone. And then he comes in and he sees there's
Yeah,
people in need, right? They're being oppressed in some way. And so he comes in and he saves them. And that's what the man does in this. And then the man, like much of Carbucci's works, the hero loses their power, their ability. So usually it's the best gunfighter or the fastest gunfighter,
everything.
and then their hands would get damaged or hurt, or they would get shot somehow, and they won't be able to rely on what their skill was. And then because of that, they would have to find out who they truly are, and then use that.
Beautiful.
And at the end, they right, yeah,
Yeah.
and at the end of the movie, the hero saves everybody, but then he still doesn't get what he wants, right? Like he still doesn't connect. So in our movie, the same thing. I even have if you remember, there's a standoff. We have the Carbucci standoff where the sun is shining in the camera, and you
Yeah.
have the bad guys and the good guys, and but yeah, at the end too, I don't want to ruin it, but the hero doesn't get to be doesn't get what you want him to get, right?
Yeah,
He doesn't
exactly.
get the goal.
Yeah, that's the because also you left when because of course we're gonna face it now about Uncontained, but when I was leaving, because we don't want to spoil the end, but literally like when I was, you said you're like waiting, like okay, there is another episode going on, like what's going
Yeah,
on? There is another episode. Wait, no, it's a movie. Okay, so there is
yeah.
another episode going on. So because I heard that you structured that at the beginning to be a TV show or something like that.
Yeah, very good. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Good catch. Yeah, the so originally I was before COVID, I
yeah.
was going from studio to studio pitching this series, and
Okay.
then COVID happened and
Yeah.
everything changed. And so I thought, while we're not able to work in COVID,
Yeah.
I wrote the film as a kind of a intimate introduction into that
Okay.
series world. So now we're hopefully going to shoot the prequel to Uncontained. So we're going
Okay.
to be shooting a new movie in 2 months. So we'll be shooting what happens before Uncontained.
So on both sides of the
Yes.
so okay, so just gonna
Yep.
understand the three.
Yes.
No,
Uh,
the two, because it's like the different dimension, like what happened was to the wife, the
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So that'll be what happens before
Okay,
he finds the children,
yeah.
and then there'll be another one after where he reconnects with the family and
Okay.
what it's like then. But first things first. So we're doing the prequel, and then we're also doing we've been asked, we're in negotiations to do a vertical series. So something that you watch on your phone and you go
That's
through and
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting, especially for the youngest
yes.
generation.
Yes, we've been we're really lucky. We're fortunate that we connected with the Gen Z and kind of younger millennials. And so
Yeah.
that's why in the States we have over 50 million views because Gen
Yeah.
Z was just like, whoa, we love this movie, and I think it's maybe because there's Gen Z kids are the heroes. And we
And you
don't,
really can
you
see
know,
they're the hero.
right? Yeah. And there's not a lot of for some reason, Gen Z doesn't like romance. They don't like kissing or anything like that, and we don't
And I
have any
catch.
of that. So right, yeah, which is interesting. But no, yeah, uh, I think it's also a different. I worked really hard to make this a unique
No, I
zombie movie.
and as a person that grew up literally surrounded by movies and TV series, literally that I could have been a reviewer for the opposite side. But I even never being a big fan of horrors. I watch everything. You can give me
Yep.
even I don't know. I love sci-fi too, but
Yep.
I found your movie, and it's because you have to stay there and follow, and also you don't have to get bored because sometimes
Yep.
it can happen with the fantasy. I'm sorry, I fall asleep with Lord of the Rings today, but it's
Yep.
a must watch. But when I watch Uncontained, from the beginning till the end, there wasn't not a moment that I was like, "What's going on now?" but it keep me
Yeah.
on the edge. But at the same time, I wasn't scared enough. But it got kind of had a relaxing mood. I don't know. It's a kind of a paradox, but I think one of the most beautiful thing that you made in your movie is the scenery, the photography.
Thank you.
It's a poetry that it's literally
Thank
poetry.
you.
And
Yes, thank you. I
the
had a really good cinematographer, and we were able to work on, I think the hardest part of any kind of storytelling, whether it's television or film, is that you want
wow,
to make sure that the tension, even if there's nothing going on, the
says
people
that.
watching it want, yeah, right, exactly. And what's going to happen next? And I can't look away. And so that's it. It may be just, I think like we had a lot of those images where I wanted to get to show what's going on in the story where there's that scene where I take a picture of, or we just look at the boots,
Yeah,
right? You have the little girl boots and then you have the little boy boots and then you have the big giant, the man boots to show that they're coming together as a family. And so you don't need to say it, you can show it.
yeah,
And again, Carbucci did a lot of that,
it
right?
got a
Like he did
little
a lot of,
bit.
not a lot of dialogue, but a lot of, just
Yeah,
showing it's such a human thing, right? Like the discarding your clothes or, a lot of card, like when he's stinky, you see his clothes in the tub, right? And then he's washing his clothes, and that's something we all have to do. And but what's going to happen next now that he's not wearing his typical
yeah.
clothes, and then having opportunity to keep the story, just always moving from scene to scene
Yeah,
to scene to scene.
exactly. Because also you were like wondering these two kids alone, like what they were doing, but that's fine. Like I said, even my mom said, I must see this kid somewhere else. And no, mom, you don't. Believe that's the first time. First time?
Yeah.
She's an amazing actress. He's your son really is good. He's really
Thank
good
you.
at it. Even
Thank
like
you.
talking to you like he never saw you before. Like who are you?
Yeah.
Like really what
Yeah.
was super. But anyway, they were super
Thank you.
sweet. Anyway, super.
Well, I was no, I'll tell. He'll make him feel really good because he wasn't. Again, first time acting. They knew that I was working in film and television, and they've
Yeah,
come to some premieres too, but they never really did it. And then
yeah.
when he did it, I was very proud as a father, but I was really happy as a director that he was able to perform because I didn't know,
Of
right?
course, it's kind of a
Before we
mess.
start shooting, yeah, it was like, uh-oh. But yeah, and I'm most proud when he did the scene where they're sitting at the table and he starts crying.
Yes,
I mean, I didn't prep him for that. He just started doing it and it was
wow,
amazing. And so
wow. Very nice.
my editor and I were like, well, this is fantastic. We have to do this. And then Brooke she had just turned 3.
It was,
And so,
yeah.
she's just being her, but you putting her in situations where she can respond, right? So she can
Yeah,
reply. But yeah, a lot, she was just her. And
uh, that's
you can't ask her to do anything else. So it's,
how he was protecting her sister was
yeah,
beautiful. Like, and the man
thank
of
you.
the house was like, now I'm the man of the house here. No one can say
Yeah.
anything. Also, I also found that beautiful because while I was watching it, when your wife show up in the show, I was like, who is this badass woman? It's kind of
Yes.
giving also to the women and big empowerment that
Yeah.
it's not only like you watch the movie because I think it's a kind of empowerment for any figure for the man itself. They can be vulnerable, they can be badass. For the kids, they
Yeah.
can do whatever they want, they can protect
Yeah.
their sisters. And also
Yeah.
for women, because I mean it was like she showed up like, oh, she's a I thought that I saw her somewhere else. I was like,
Yeah.
she really gave me like a boost of confidence that I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck, I like this woman.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I wanted her character to be the business, right? Like when she comes in, she's in charge. There's no question. The man is kind of broken and doesn't know where he is in the world now. Where
Yeah,
she knows she's a mom. She knows that she's a soldier and that she has to protect her kids and watch out for them, but she is also really good at her job. And
yeah,
so when she comes in and they're in trouble and she saves them and she constantly
yeah.
is saving them and she knows what's going on and yeah, I wanted her to be the strongest character. And then also I don't want to give it away, but I think her character proves that she can take more than anyone else when you think about
The
the
woman.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
And she stands up to what she thinks is right. But then also, on the other side too, you have the kind of the bad guy,
yeah.
right? And he's not really in any other movie, he wouldn't necessarily be the bad guy. He's just a guy looking for his daughter, right? So he might be Liam
Right.
Neeson and Taken, right?
Yeah,
But but I think his personal morals are the
yeah,
difference, and that's what makes him the bad guy. Is
yeah,
that he and the mom,
yeah.
right, are have
They're,
the same ethics,
yeah,
but their
exactly.
morals, the way they go about those ethics are
It's
different.
different. Yeah, but
Right.
and
Yeah.
also I like that is as well. It shows that the demons inside. That I think
Yeah.
maybe in the prequel or in the sequel, there's gonna be maybe more digging about that because just
Yeah.
showing that you can be also the a fighter, but having a vulnerability inside of you is not
Yeah.
a shame, because sometimes there is
No.
this. So you kind of took care of all these small details that really they look small, but they are what people like me. I want today. I feel like I don't know. I don't have any strength. I feel tired. I want to watch a movie, and then I
Yeah.
feel good about it. Whether if it's an horror, whether if it's a drama, whatever. It just I want to feel good about it because there's that
Right.
particular moment that I know they're gonna give me the boost or gonna
Yeah.
make me feel in another world. And with the photography, with the
Yeah.
score, and with the acting, you got transported to another world in Uncontained.
Yeah.
It was you had this capability to put the viewers in your house because you're in your in that place.
Yeah.
It's a completely different world. Like what's going on?
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Yeah.
so that's why I wish that is sooner as possible is gonna be in theater here in Europe, and also because as you told me, especially you have Scandinavian roots, Scandinavian,
Yeah.
so they can also you can take that part of your roots, not
Yeah.
having that credit is important.
Yes.
Also,
Yes. Yeah. I'd love to do that. And I think too that's I grew up knowing, multiple worlds, and
yeah,
one of the, like you said, the Viking roots, is they were one of the very few societies on Earth that were a warrior
yeah,
society, right? You had the Spartans, the samurai, and the Vikings,
yeah,
right? And uh, I think the Vikings are interesting because they took care of like the Spartans, it was all encompassing, like you're not just physically strong, but mentally strong,
exactly,
and right, and then emotionally strong as well.
yeah,
And I think that's where a lot of when you're expected to be kind of a warrior or a soldier or whatever,
yeah.
a lot of times you have to push down your emotions, and you don't have time to deal with them. But then they always come back, and then
Yeah.
once you do,
Like them, yeah.
yeah. I don't think it'd be nice if people didn't have to do that alone, but that's what happens, right? And that's why I wanted to depict in the movie, like show that in the movie that
Yeah,
you can be vulnerable,
of course.
um, and the children bring that out in him,
Yeah,
like
that
children do, right?
yeah, and as like you mentioned, Vikings are such a variety of figures, and they had even the strength to and the willing that proves historically they can change their own beliefs. They became
Hmm.
Christians at some point,
Right.
and then at the end, the Duke of Normandy, which his name was Rollo, decided to become again. Um, Viking, believing again in Odin. So it changed many times. So
Yeah.
they're showing you there was a you can change and there's not a problem. You don't
No.
have to commit to one thing for all your life. Like you
Yes.
can change point of view. You can change. That was the beauty of their culture. Of course, as any
Yeah.
cultures and as in specific in those times, they were pretty rough. Like they were
Yeah.
going to invade a lot of countries. They
Yeah.
arrived here in Sicily, but they brought at least after they were Christianized political stability. They gave what was a
Yes.
constitution, one of the first constitution ever. The Magna Charta and so on. But
Yeah.
let's say from the romanticized part, which many movies and TV shows made, that's what they make people closer to this culture is your job is what you
Yeah.
create it's what because I could be interested in I don't know in horror movies but maybe throughout Uncontained I'm gonna check out others
Yeah.
and or we're gonna
Yeah.
make a movie about a Viking zombie I don't know.
I do have one, so, but
There's something
yeah,
going on
down the
there.
road. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah I think we mentioned about that I can give you some
Yeah.
composers or some name about
Yes.
some sources, especially because
Exactly.
about Norway, about the Scandinavian country, just ask. So I'm gonna give you names and not endless
Yes.
names. That, but you
Yes.
mentioned, like, coming back to you mentioned that there will be a prequel. So, but
Yeah.
before start talking about the prequel and the sequel, and it's important to focus to people to get more people to watch that movie. So of course,
Right.
you directed the movie and you started in a period of time of history that wasn't the easiest. I
Oh,
mean,
sorry. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
movie when you
The
started to direct and going towards to make the movie wasn't the easiest period of for us in the history. So
no.
I went through all of this because it's I mean, it wasn't easy. So first, congratulations for making it. That's what also what I think make it even to show the love you have for the
Thank you.
cinema itself.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. It was. I mean, it was very. I think we none of us really expected to be where we were at that time, and none of us expected to be so isolated together,
Yeah,
right? Which is weird phenomena in a way, right? We all took for granted how connected we are socially
yeah,
when we can go out and do things, and whether that's going to a concert or going to a
yeah,
theater or going to wherever or just being
exactly.
in public, and then when it's taken from you,
Yeah,
that feels, even though we suffered together, we're so far apart. And I was fortunate enough that we have a decent amount of land
yeah.
that we can be on, and I had my family. Um, but I feel really badly. I can't imagine being in a larger city,
No,
like London or New York or wherever, and you're stuck in your apartment, and you know that there's hundreds of people around you, but you can't see them or touch them, or
exactly.
it's terrible. Yeah. So um, yeah, that was it. For us when we shot it. It was also difficult because we didn't have much money at all, and then we had all these because I belonged to a union,
Yeah,
actors union. There's all these protocols, so we had to make sure that everyone was safe. But that
okay.
also cost a lot of money that we wouldn't normally have to use, and that was tough. And then on top of it, outside of that, our average shooting temperature was 13 degrees, which I think is 10 below Celsius, maybe. Um,
Cold.
yeah, so it was cold, and then the
Yeah,
wind on top of it, or whatever. And but yeah, and it was interesting. And then because we shot in the house, my wife also, because she's tough in true life, she would work 50, 60 hours a week, and then she would come and shoot her scenes, and then she would take the kids and go to an Airbnb and stay because we were shooting the movie at our house, so the kids wouldn't be
also.
able to sleep at night. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah, so we had to worry about that too. But it was overall, no matter how it wasn't. I think a lot of people complain about movies and how hard it is to make movies, and
yeah,
this is tough. And we saw in reality, making movies is so much fun. I mean, it's so compared to a lot of other jobs. I mean, having worked other jobs, making movies is a dream come true. I mean, it's so
yeah.
much fun. Even the worst day when everything can go wrong, it's still you're making magic, and it's so much fun. And I
That's
think
really
even when
fun.
you have, yeah, like it when, excuse me,
Okay.
when there's an issue that comes up or when there's an
Yeah,
obstacle and you can't do things, I think in when your creative brain is working,
yeah,
it
exactly.
gets even more creative, right? Because you have to consider, so you're constantly creating. And I think that feeds your soul. So for me, while I'm creating a movie, I'm feeding my soul directly.
Yeah, it's
And so, yeah,
like writing music. You're writing it,
yes,
basically. That's
right. Like you can't, if you can't find the right lyrics, right, or the right,
yeah,
right, and you're just like, oh, I gotta get, we got the melody,
yeah,
but we could do better with the, or what is the one piece missing? You know that you're
exactly.
close, you're so close, right? But then there's just that one more, maybe it's one key,
But
and then you
that's
find it, and once you do, you feel so satisfied
yeah, and
and
also
nourished.
that's what because you love really because also you love what you're doing. You have the
Yeah,
creativity yourself, and maybe other I don't know. There are amazing director all over the world in the independent cinema movies a lot as well. that they, for being, just for save money, they do short movie, they do cartoon.
Yep.
And sometimes, like you said, today maybe we're a little bit more lucky because we have access to more things to record, to shoot a movie, or
Yes.
even to record music. But to do
Yeah.
it, like in a proper way, like you did, it took a lot of effort, a lot of money, and a lot of people involved. Because of course, we have also to give credit that it wasn't only your family in the movie, because maybe
Yeah.
people would think
Yep.
like it's like only his family. There were other actors involved.
Yes. Yes. And crew, like
Yeah,
because it's a
true, of
small movie,
course.
every crew member pretty much was in the movie too, right? So
Oh,
anytime you see
really?
zombies or zombie feet, those were crew members because we just didn't have the money to hire,
Oh my
background
goodness.
actors or anyone else. So and again, being during COVID, we have all the distancing protocol,
Yeah, of course.
and so you couldn't have a lot of people. So you have to again that creativity. There's scenes where I have 100 zombies running by, but
Yeah.
really it's just my crew members running around the camera, doing circles
Oh,
around the camera to make it look like there's a lot of people. So that, but it's coming up with ideas like that. But yeah, I couldn't have done it. Obviously, couldn't have done it on my own. Having great camera department, having great art department, having great AD. We had a woman AD named Catherine Hatam, and she did the schedule. So, and she had it so clearly in her head that if we had extra time,
okay.
she could replace a new scene, or if we were going mostly going overtime, she could say, okay, we can shoot these different scenes, and we ended up in a fit for a 15-day shoot. We wrapped in 14 days. So the movie only took 14 days to shoot. So that
I
was,
mean,
yeah,
I mean, if
yeah,
you got like, let's say, more budget, no COVID,
yeah,
I mean, what could have been? I mean, because it's already,
right,
again, it doesn't completely, for me, doesn't look like there's any independent movie at all. It look like for big distribution made. That's what it looked like. Your
thank you,
acting skills are great. I mean,
thank you,
really, and everyone in there is a good. I know because the story is focused on the family, of course, but that is our other interaction with other actors. Everyone is
yep,
great. It doesn't look like, because sometimes even in some big movie that you can see that even some actors can fit that part because they maybe are more towards, I don't know, the drama, the comedy and so on. But everyone in there was literally, you yeah, I can't, because a good movie is where
thank you,
you are, it's like when your book, you're in there and
yep,
you are feel, I don't know, and they're completely immersed, and you feel like those people are like your friends, like
thank you,
next to you, sitting
yeah,
next to you.
yep,
So you
yeah.
you created a real character. That's what I'm saying. That's
Well,
a
thank you,
good
thank
acting
you,
skills.
thank you.
So
Yeah, it was and then I think a lot of that goes to, again, I was fortunate to go to school for
yeah,
theater. And so knowing how the mind of an actor works, I was able to help the
yeah,
non-actors
yeah,
with them, so there's not too much pressure. Because I think that's the biggest thing with actors, whether you're classically trained Shakespearean actor or brand new, the biggest obstacle is just people are so worried. And
yeah.
once you get rid of that fear and that worry, they can just relax and then they can be, I think people always say, you're a lot of famous directors like Spielberg and everyone else say, you need to be, actors need to be true.
Yeah.
And, you need to find the truth in your storytelling. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be 100% factual and your performance has to be factual. It means that you just have to relax and let it be as natural as possible, right?
Exactly.
Because your truth is, there is a little bit of truth in everything. And I think, like we were talking about before, people change. And because people change, there's a more understanding of others. And so you can put yourself in other people's shoes, and that allows you to act in very different ways. So, that's a complicated way of just saying,
Yeah, of
I
course.
think if you get actors to relax, they can perform well. But
Yeah,
yeah, and then also I have a really good editor. He
yeah,
was Charlie Gruszewski. He's a fantastic editor, so it helped that we had good camera angles. And like you're saying, with technology, it's nice that we can have two cameras at the same time, and we could grab the best performance and make sure. So if you have the lighting right and the scenery looks great, right, then
that's
you can find the performance, and then the editor, really good editor, can pick the best parts and put them, stitch them together, and then you have a great, that
yeah,
helps a lot. But sometimes too, though, with a small budget,
Yeah.
We can only do one or two takes. And
But
so, with a bigger budget, you'd be able to do like 10, 20, or as many as you needed
as I said, I
till the
don't know
actors
if
felt good.
it would be you would like shot out outside like if you had like a gigantic budget because it's really maybe the you would have been just less tired because I guess you would be really
Yeah,
tired, really tired at the end also for the kid. Maybe it allows you to take it more easy that, but the quality
yeah.
is I mean, it's exceptional,
Thank you.
believe me, I watch it through a phone, so it's not that I watch it through like
Yeah,
the best device ever, but
yeah,
it's. I literally felt because even felt I don't want to say the cold because I like cold snow.
yeah,
I love like those gigantic field of snow. Just give you
yeah,
peace. That's what in the movie that had those scene gave me peace because you had and also like you didn't expect it. Like when we're talking about the movie that the first time I saw your character I was like he's dead. What is doing? And then
yeah,
you wake up, like came
yeah,
back from that. It was like, where's that zombie? So wait, I don't know.
yeah,
And all the time you were like, oh my god, who is gonna that you kept the question somehow someone is gonna be infected because of
yeah.
course we just go get around the movie and but if we want to make really explain in your own words like really also simple because I mean yeah simple that I don't want to say the idea where it came from, but like a synopsis. I mean, there is a
Right.
line is everywhere, but from your own word, I think it's the best way to give and the synopsis of Uncontained.
Uncontained. So I think it's interesting because my synopsis, when as a writer, you think you have a really good synopsis, and then right, and then but then the studio says no, 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 it has to be. What about this for marketing, right? Because they're
Yeah,
always thinking about marketing, which is
exactly.
good,
Yeah,
but yeah, because they want as many people to see the movie as possible, which is great. But I think the official synopsis is a mysterious stranger struggles to protect two abandoned children
yeah.
against an infection that turns people into a feral-like state.
Okay.
And so that's kind of the
The
movie.
but there's a
Yeah,
lot of question that where this it came from,
yes,
how arrived
yep,
into the city,
yeah,
how the mom of this kid was aware. I mean, just the
yeah,
story of of you, like how you like what happened to the wife, how you
yeah,
ended up laying in the snow.
yeah,
It's just a lot of things. Like also, is it different? Also, how they are as I'm not that expert in the zombie movie, but they are different from other movies that I watch.
yes. Thank you. That was very important to me. Like as a fan of horror and a zombie
Yeah,
fan, I wanted and having worked on The Walking Dead, I wanted to
yeah,
know, the original zombie, like the big, I guess the godfather of all zombie movies was George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, right? And that was, you know, in the 60s.
yeah.
So that was new then, and I think what was scary to people was the emotional trauma of losing a child, right, or a loved one, or it could have, or it can,
Feelings.
it's indiscriminate. It doesn't matter, what you believe in, the color of your skin, how tall
Yeah,
you are, how big you are. It doesn't matter. It can affect anybody. And
yeah,
so I think in the last 20 years, we've gotten away from in zombie films. If somebody gets infected, people now think, well, they're infected. That's it. Just kill them. Right?
yeah,
It doesn't matter if your mom got infected, just kill her. She's no longer
exactly.
herself. Right. And I
That's
wanted to go back to, but what if she could what if there's a chance that she changes back? Right. Then
exactly.
how easy is it to kill
Exactly.
somebody?
It's
Right.
kind of going, make also question the viewers that is seeing that to give a different perspective in the horror movie, in the horror, let's say, movie field that to when you watch a movie, you always see that let's say the villain, whether it could be a zombie, whether it could be a vampire, or even the
Hmm.
Nosferatu, that the last Nosferatu gave you a different perspective as well. You could see him from a
Yep.
different perspective, and also her why she make those choices. For example, in Nosferatu. So I think there is also a kind of like of emotion in every
Yep.
field, which is movies, which is music, coming back in the real emotion and also in the horror movies that believe me for someone like me that's a lot into the drama, the classic. I mean, I'm from Italy, from Sicily. Al
Yeah.
Pacino is from Corleone. Come on, so it
Yeah.
needs to be there. They didn't recognize him in Corleone. How the fuck you can't recognize Al
Yeah.
Pacino?
Come
But
on. The hair. Yeah.
no, they say, I don't know who you are. It's like, I'm looking for
Yeah.
my aunt, my people
Yeah.
so close to my mom, and they didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Couple of
Oh,
20 years ago, not even a long time ago, he was already famous. It was
yeah.
so myself coming from that type of movies, and of course, it gives brings you closer to
Yes.
another genre, which is the horror, because people always have this side that horror that has to be scary, that has to be gore, that has to be, yeah, of course, but there are a lot of pieces. There is a sentimental value, that the
Yeah.
emotional part, and for people that
Yes.
mean like put a lot of lives with emotion in your movie. I saw that, and
Yeah.
you confirm that, and I hope that in other many other movies they're gonna put this. It's like in thriller or in thriller movies. If you
Yeah.
go there and just the person got kidnapped, and then you find for the person, now they are start even to analyze the person who kidnapped, for example, the whatever, the girl or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So there is a good way to going back to, like you said, the origin of the cinema as well. So
Yeah.
talking about the origin of the cinema and movies, there has been in your entire career and life. You mentioned already the Italian directors, but as well, like as a movie in general that influenced you, or that you said yourself, I wish I could have done those movies myself.
Oh, uh, that's tough because I watch a lot, and I think
Me too,
right?
but
Yeah.
that's more humor than me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like I think movies, because they're visual, but they're also
Yeah,
auditory. It's very much like music. It depends on the mood I'm in at that moment.
yeah,
So, for maybe a day or a week, I might be in a certain, I might be down and I'll want to listen to something uplifting, or I want to watch something, maybe a comedy or whatever. And there's a lot of directors that I like for certain genres,
yeah.
but obviously there's Spielberg and Francis Ford Coppola and you know William Friedkin and all the other classical greats.
Yeah,
But I feel like there's also like Joe Carnahan is excellent at making like a big influence for my movie was The Gray with Liam Neeson, where the airplane crashes in the wilderness and he has to
yeah.
survive. And you
Wow.
know, um, yeah, I like because I think people miss what I like about The Gray is that it's well done. You
Yeah,
watch from moment to moment. The scenery is fantastic, but at the same time, I think there's that emotional,
yeah,
each
exactly.
right, like each character in The Gray that dies is an emotional part of Liam Neeson's character.
Yeah,
So, there's a lot of people argue that they're not actually there,
yeah,
that those are just parts of his persona.
yeah,
And as he's traveling, each one he leaves fear alone.
yeah.
The fear goes away, and that one character dies, and then anger is the last one to go, right? And so, um, people are like, or is it just supposed to be literal? And
Exactly.
they actually did survive until the end. So I
That's
like those layers.
yeah, those layers. And also, I noticed that there's a lot of nature surrounding the movies, and the in the scenery. That's a beautiful things that we are getting really. We are forgetting about how
Yeah.
important is the connection with nature itself. That's
Yes.
why, and we don't have only to watch it in the movie, but also live it. So
Yes.
seeing it could be an inspiration to go and live it.
Yes.
That's why
Absolutely.
I loved a lot about, like I said, the scenery. There's a lot of beautiful nature surrounding it, and as well, I think, of course, yeah, the acting, like you, as you said yourself, was literally freezing, literally for real freezing, and
Yeah.
I don't know how did you manage, but really
That it
congratulations to all of you.
Thank you. It's funny because when you're doing the acting, you think about, you might be loading your acting or you might be doing something where you're preparing your acting.
Yeah.
And then once, you know, as when I wrote it and when I was preparing for it and as I'm directing it, it didn't really shock me until I had to lay in the snow because I think I lay in the snow like 20 times throughout the movie.
Oh,
And every
okay.
time you lay in the snow, it's so shocking to your system,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
if you when we're at the temperatures that we were acting in, after maybe a minute or 2 minutes, your face starts to freeze, and so you can't
Speak.
emote and you
Yeah.
can't speak normally, and so your muscles start to tense up and you sound funny, or and you have to forget about all that and just continue to act. And so that was a big challenge for us, was that
Yeah, makes
in
sense.
the environment you still have to act and make it look, you have to sell like that in that moment, that
Yeah.
you're not cold or you're not going through that. So all the actors did a great job that for all the outdoor stuff. But but at the same time too, I think to what you're saying, we're all, whether we want to be or not, we're all part of nature.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we can't get away if I don't know why you'd want to get away from it, but we're all part of the planet, whether you want to be or not. And I prefer to live in harmony with the planet, and I think that should be a part of it. And I think it's interesting too. It's kind of funny when you think about technology today. You have the Avatar movies that are about connecting with nature, but there's nothing natural about the entire movie,
Exactly.
right? Like it's all shot, it's all fake. That's all
Yeah.
computer generated,
Yeah.
but it's all, the message of the movie is great. We need to reconnect with nature, but it's all shot completely unnatural.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's,
It's
I'd love to get back into, like, I like filmmaking that are in the elements, put you
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I get
I
that.
love that.
Yeah, I got that. When you are literally there, it's so I saw a movie. I don't even remember. Was that wind? I don't remember about this woman going through the. She was just having, I think, the ashes of her husband, going through the snow, and then she had this found out this girl that was kidnapped, and then this old woman she has to fight
Hmm.
them, and it was completely in the snow. There.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
Emma,
imagine
yeah, yeah,
kill.
Emma Thompson, the
Yeah,
Emma Thompson movie.
yeah,
Yes, yes, yes,
it's beautiful. The acting, she was like, oh my
yeah,
god. But at the same time, I felt this kind of a because she connected with the even with the kidnapper,
yeah,
she was giving him the chance to redeem himself. Like,
yeah,
go talk to the cops, say there is this poor girl here, and at the
yeah.
end, you're left with a kind of sour mouth because you're like, oh,
Hmm.
what happened now? Because I think also
Yeah,
in the movie industry, a lot of things are changing. There is no more always only the happy ending. I mean,
yeah,
it's getting closer to real life.
yes,
Except
yes.
you're not watching maybe the Lord of the Rings again. So,
Right, right.
I don't
Yeah,
stuff that I hated, but it's so.
yeah.
But also, if we would like to describe Uncontained in a quote, how could it be?
Oh, say that again.
In a quote, like a phrase, how we could describe
Oof,
Contained.
boy, that's hard because I think,
There's a lot of words.
yeah, there's so much involved, and a lot of people. It's interesting because we're on in the United States. We're on a. Do you have Tubi, the
Yes,
platform Tubi?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it does.
Okay. So, in I get a lot of like I watch all the reports on Tubi, and it's interesting because on Tubi we're a mystery, a western, a horror, a thriller, and sci-fi. So they
Okay, yeah.
categorize us as all those genres, and we do really well. Surprisingly, we do really well in the western genre on Tubi. So and then on Amazon, sometimes we're trending really high in horror, and
Okay.
then sometimes we're trending really high in drama, and then sometimes. So I
Yeah.
think we're so it's tough, but I think I mean, really, at the end of the day, in general, Uncontained is about, I guess, exploring the human condition through entertainment, right? Because I
Yeah.
really want to just connect people, and maybe it's the last
Exactly.
line of the movie. If we're going to survive, we need to find each other,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's it. I think it's connecting because
Yeah.
you know, whether you're a child or an adult,
Yeah.
or you know, it doesn't matter where you're from. We all need to
Exactly.
connect as human beings, right? And I
Exactly.
think that's right. That's the beauty, I think, of art, right? Like
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
and movies and film is,
The
it
painters,
connects us all
writers.
emotionally,
Yes.
right?
Back back then there was like instead of movie there could have been painters expressing in a visual
Yeah.
way the emotion, and still today, and so all these arts is I think they anyone has an artistic side in themselves whether they know it or not,
Yes.
photographer. So I don't believe if someone said to me I don't have an artistic side, even if you make
Oh,
dots, I don't know, there's some artistic side. And also,
yes.
speaking about uncontained music, if we would like to, let's say, Uncontained became a song, it's just
Yeah.
or an album. I don't know, because I think it would be more fitting an album, like like a full length album that just a single
Yeah.
lyrics,
I
like
that,
because there are
I think
different
that
layers.
I would say for sure M83's outro,
Okay.
if you're familiar with that, or I don't know. I have a very eclectic. I mean, I grew up with I grew up with like I don't know. I The first album I ever had was Lita Ford.
Okay.
Um, right. So I
Hard
grew
rock.
up with yeah, like Lita Ford, White Snake, all the whites, White Lion, White Snake,
What one? Yeah. Still
yeah,
are today.
Pantera.
Too.
Yeah, yeah. And then but also then I got into like I don't know if you call it heavy metal or whatever, like
Yeah.
Pantera,
Yeah.
right? And then I went through a phase in college where I listened to I don't know, R&B and hip hop, so
Okay.
like
The
Dull, the Funky Homo Sapien and De La Soul, and then but also listen to Enya,
yeah.
sometimes, because you're in the mood. But I think um
You-
for some reason, Emmy, when I was watching the movie Sabura,
Yeah.
M83 is throughout the entire movie,
Yeah.
and there's the moment when Otro hits. It's so beautiful, and you just have I guess you would say that he's kind of the hero or the protagonist, and he's just looking out of a window
Yeah.
across, and he's looking at Rome in through a frosted window, and it's beating up with condensation, and he kind of draws the outline of the city with his finger, and Atro's playing, and it's just so phenomenal. Like that
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah. I think
I
that's
think that's magic, right? I think you're connecting to not just the filmmaker's vision, like what we're visually seeing, but when
exactly.
you're hearing Atro play, there's something that connects to like your heart and soul. And
Exactly.
when the hair on the back of your neck stands up or whatever, that's then you're in that moment, and
Exactly.
that's magical, right? And I think that's
Yeah.
so. I would say Atro is, and I told our composers as well. I said this is
Okay.
so like the final scene of the movie when there's that big emotional
Yeah.
moment, right? I said I need something that's very similar to this, and this is when it happens and when it crescendo, and
Yeah.
so
I think these
yeah,
are the moment that when you think about the movie, it sticks with you, that you remember. And
yeah,
maybe when you talk with a friend or with people, you're gonna say, "Oh, you see, I watched this movie," and then you went even on YouTube or just to show that part that you liked to get the
yeah,
other person impressed. And like you
yeah,
said, it was this part of you at the very end, but also in my when I showed to my mom, I showed the part when your son was protecting your daughter and the dog,
yeah,
which my mom loves. As we have the
yeah.
same dog, so my mom was like, "Oh, I want."
Okay.
So and I knew that they were captured, but in any world there was a different music. So even the folk Nordic would have could have fit in that some of the scenery that you use
Yes,
for
yes, absolutely.
like the band
Yeah,
you were talking cap
it's cold.
Druna, even or
Oh
Scald.
yeah,
Yeah, Scald.
yeah,
Yeah, even
yeah,
Scald.
yeah.
Scald are also from France, so they are.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
but because I don't know if you're listening to the actual lineup or the oldest, because they changed the lineup twice. The
okay.
first lineup, there is this friend of mine playing there. But even now,
Yeah,
I have this lot of friends. But in the first one, the many video are shooted. There was a blonde guy. This guy Matthew is blonde. There is the
yeah,
brunette woman, and
yep.
these are they are doing great music. I will send you the other project they have, but also the
Okay.
actual scout are really good, doing really good. And there is a beautiful music festival in Norway called Midgardsblot.
Oh,
It's all about Viking union, about culture. They guested, and they are guessing also this summer native indigenous band from Chile. They do it with
oh,
um, tomahawk, all around the world. So it's really beautiful. And I have all this traditional thing about, like the pagan tradition of celebration, shamanism.
yes.
Really beautiful festival. And you see all this
Hmm.
genre. Also
I
metal.
meant,
So,
yeah,
so
good. Yeah, I like the originals. I think I listened to oh, from Scald that I listened to 7 years ago. Like
yeah.
I really
Yeah,
like
so
Ruin.
definitely we metal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Again.
I listened to all. Yeah, Yeah.
I would
And
say,
then it's funny how many times they've been remixed too,
yeah.
right? A lot of people remix their,
Mhm.
which is interesting, right? Like
Yeah,
I love listening to songs when you get a new, again, if you, there's a little bit of change,
yeah,
sometimes the songs
exactly.
that you love can be just as good, sometimes bad, but sometimes just as good. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and also,
it's,
yeah. So you
yeah.
can add in all your background as a music and as well as in like a lot of different influences as well. So I guess that also in
Yeah.
because speaking about before ending, of course, like actual project going on is that like I said, there's gonna start to shooting the prequel. Let's say the beginning
Hmm.
the movie. So it's gonna be all the same cast, like at least the main characters. So
Yeah, I mean, so my wife and the kids and the dog will be in it again.
okay,
I I'll be the main character again. But then everyone else will be different
okay, of
because right. And
course,
then the
yeah,
hard part, so the prequel is tough because, you know, our movie wasn't supposed to succeed because we don't have a recognizable actor. Like I'm not,
yeah,
I've acted in things
yeah.
prior to this, but I'm not big enough where people go, "Oh, Morley," right? Not, so our movie wasn't supposed to be successful because without
It's,
like Al Pacino or Robert De
yeah, but
Niro,
it's going.
yeah, huh,
So it's going
right,
really
yeah,
well.
yeah. So it worked out pretty well for us. So the I'll be
The-
in it, but the hard part for a prequel is that you want to make sure that the fans that like the first movie aren't watching something all over again that they already know.
okay.
But then
So,
also because it's going to be in theaters, there's a large group of people that also haven't seen it. So you have to make sure that so you have to re-explain everything without
yeah.
re-explaining, feeling like it's
Well,
being re-explained, right? So that part's tough. But outside of that, it's
the,
totally new. There'll be lot more stunt because our budget's so much bigger. And
okay.
so because we're so successful with the first one, we get
Yeah,
bigger budget, right?
and of course, that like you mentioned, there is gonna be an at least in Europe, it's gonna arrive also in theaters.
Yes.
So to anyone in Europe who got to watch
Yep.
it. So I will use
Hopefully.
it, the trailer to explain also in this
Thank
interview.
you.
So I will put it at the end at the beginning. So
Okay.
at least people will understand because usually I put at the end and the beginning a song, but this time I put a
Okay.
trailer. So at
Thank you.
least, and then I will ask you
Yeah.
some song that you will put let me as a background while we are talking. So they got
Okay.
also some effect.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Good. Yeah.
I really wish you like to at least for now with for people that are you because I also have a lot of people based in the United States. If they didn't watch
Yep.
on content, they can do it. It's on Tubi, like you said. It's on
Yep.
Prime. It's
Yep.
there. I mean, and even if me that I am not the biggest person that watch because I don't know because there was this missing part of feelings. I stuck through the beginning till the end. You are the
Yep.
first person I really interview as an actor because I
Oh,
interviewed the son of Kevin Bacon, but he's a musician. So
yep.
he's
Okay.
also an actor, but you're the first one because the acting was so good. I like
Thank you.
the family because there is the value behind it. So you don't only see the effort you put, you also see the value of you, of your wife, of your kids. It's beautiful also, and also you see like the kids are growing up now. This
Yeah.
there's a lot of union in your family, and that's what the world needs, I guess, a lot.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for the acting compliments too. Because sometimes I always think about maybe I should come out when if I'm doing an event or something, I always come out and think, well, if what if I'm not a good actor? Maybe I should get people to think I'm even a better actor if I come out and have a different accent or something.
No, you're
So when
right.
people watch the movie, like if I had a southern accent, if I was like, "Oh, thanks for having me on the show," and people be like, "Wow, he's such a good actor," because in the movie he doesn't sound like that at all. But no,
You literally
I
like
yeah,
just being yourself because really in the acting, I was blown away. I mean,
thank
I
you,
really look for the real acting. Like I said, your wife, your son, your daughter, the dog,
thank
even also you have other
you.
actors involved that were really good. So I really
Yeah,
look forward to see that in the post in the theater. I will push more this interview even when I will
thank you.
see me immediately. And for anything, just hit me up. I have no problem to just even I don't know in maybe when will be announced in Italy there I'm gonna
Yeah,
put your wife this time to interview.
yes,
I
that'd be
would love
fantastic.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we also have, like
Yeah,
a woman, a perspective of a
yeah,
woman. So I would love that.
yeah,
Just to say, maybe some lines in Italian. I will tell you just to grab the audience.
Right. Thank you. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a
That would be
really,
fantastic.
I can say, I wish you really beautiful day, Molly, to you, to your wife, and
Thank
your
you.
family, and really say to your wife that she fucking empower me. She should
Awesome.
content on social, like how to empower you.
Thank you. I'll tell her that. That'll make her feel really good too.
She's really an amazing woman as an acting
Thank you.
also. So thank
Yeah.
you so much
Well, thank you for having
for
me.
the time. I don't take it for granted, and the
Yeah.
movie was amazing. Really, is amazing. So
Thank you so much. Yeah.
watch everyone. Contain is available. It will be available forever. So watch it even 10 times. So I watched it already 3 times. So yesterday was
Oh, awesome.
my third time. Yeah. So
Thank you.
thank you so much. Have a rest nice of the day.
You
Bye.
too. Thank you. Bye,
Bye.
Ada.